evening, you beautiful people, and welcome to Forge from Iron. I'm Duke. That's Gatesy. How you doing, Gatesy? You good?
I'm good, mate. I've come prepared.
Yeah, you might need that tonight. Here's our usual Claret and view from the Terrace guest, Mr. Fever. How you doing, sir?
Hungover from my little rant last night, but
well,
but no,
you're
loving
gonna
the 3
hate
points.
me in about 10 minutes, I'll tell you, because I'm really going to the line with this one. We might need a ref.
Go on.
And joining us this evening, first time on our channel, is Mr. Frankel. How you doing, sir?
Good to see you, Duke. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having me, Rob. It's nice to be here. Nice to talk some stuff about West Ham. Good. Thanks so much for inviting me on.
Good stuff. Well, for those of you watching who haven't watched this piece of our show, our channel before, this is a Claret view from the Terrace. This is our weekly opinion show. I pull up a couple of opinions, I throw it out there to these guys on the channel, to you guys out there in the live chat, and I do my best to wind everyone up and then send you all on your merry way in about an hour with the or wanting to scream and shout and hate me, but hey, sod it, it's a bit of fun, right? So first things first, let me go into here. Let me go and grab this this upload that I decided that I haven't done it yet because I'm an absolute nightmare. So first things first, I'm gonna leave my favourite topic until last. What's he waiting for? What's he? I'm gonna throw something at him. He can behave himself. Right. So once again, our wonderful favourite radio station,
Magic FM,
has decided to rile us up again, shall we say? Would that be the good word, boys? So Simon Jordan this afternoon came out and said that we're not going to get Lingard, that GSB won't be able to afford him, that our achievements have put him back on the map, and now Man United will demand £60 million for Lingard, or they'll sign him up to another deal to increase, the value of their asset, as he calls him in the video. Now, I'm going to start with you, James, because I know you love a bit of this. Opinions, please, sir.
It's disgusting, mate. Lee Clayton, right? Lee Clayton is a producer, West Ham fan, manager of TalkSport. He supports our club, but they allow this shite to keep happening. Why? Because they want views, they want content, because they don't want West Ham in the top 6. They want the traditional top 6 in there, and they want us down at the pecking order, and they don't like it that we're there at the minute. I don't know what Simon Jordan's talking about, really, mate. I do sometimes respect what he says. I do rate what he says sometimes, and sometimes I just look at him and I think, what are you going on about, mate? You're talking a lot of bollocks, really, if I speak the truth. But yeah, it's not. I'm just going to let it go in my head with him. Like, do you know what I mean? Listen, there's an old saying: you get what you pay for, basically. And if we want him, we will get him. Do you know what I mean? But we've got to pay the money. So yeah, there you go.
Adam?
Well, I think, first of all, hi, Jake. I'm not worried about what they say on TalkSport, because the facts of it are Jesse Lingard only has 1 more year on his contract anyway. So regardless of anything else, there's only so much of a fee that Man United can try and get. Because if they try and hold him ransom, he simply leaves for nothing in the summer. And it all comes down to the fact that Jesse Lingard at Man United wasn't playing football. Now, is Solskjaer still going to be there next season? Of course he is. So what's going to change? Why would his opinion change? He's not going to drop Bruno Fernandes to invite Jesse Lingard back in his spot. And Jesse Lingard has had this like redemption and this turn of form in coming to West Ham, coming to a new place. If we make the Champions League, what could Manchester United possibly offer him that we couldn't is the question. You know, we've already got players that are going to be off of our wage bill that we've paid a lot of money for, you know, like Sebastian Haller. We've got money in the pot. And if we finish in the Champions League, I would be very confident, as shit as our owners are, that we would turn around to Jesse Lingard and say, whatever Man United offer you, we'll beat it. And the final thing I want to say on Lingard is Man United traditionally do not offer long contracts to old players. That's their policy. It always has been. And so Jesse Lingard's 28 years old. I cannot imagine that Manchester United would offer him a 3 or 4 year deal. Whereas I can imagine that West Ham would be willing to take the risk on doing that. So that's what I think on it.
Gatesy?
Well, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Whilst Jesse Lingard has the time left on his contract that he does at Manchester United, he holds all the cards. He holds all the aces, not Manchester United. The moment he puts pen to paper on that 3-year contract extension, that then changes. Manchester United hold the aces. Now, why on earth would Jesse Lingard put pen to paper on that deal? Because what he's doing is he's essentially handcuffing himself to Manchester United for potentially another 3 years on top of the year that he's already got. So that's 4 years in total. So that takes him to what? The age of 32, 33. So basically that's his peak years gone. If he stays at Manchester United for that length of time and doesn't play the volume of matches that a player of that caliber, in my opinion, ought to be playing. Now, he could. Let's just suppose for a moment he signs that contract. He won't. I'm fairly confident, but let's just suppose he does. He's barely going to play. His England place for the Qatar World Cup goes. Now, he went to the last World Cup and he did quite well. He scored a goal in one of the group stage games. I'm sure he wants to relive those, hit those heights again. He's not going to do it at Manchester United. It's as simple as that. Furthermore, exactly as Adam said, this summer represents really the last chance that Manchester United will have of getting a decent amount of money for Jesse Lingard. If they don't get any money for him in this summer, then it goes to January and they will get virtually nothing for him by then, because any club then knows, well, I can wait 6 months and I can get that player for free anyway come the following summer. Jesse Lingard can stay at Manchester United and he will be a minnow in the Pacific Ocean. He can come to West Ham and he can be a blue whale in a teardrop. That's it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah, you know what, mate? I keep seeing everything, and I keep looking myself, and I do find myself getting a bit wound up across the social media, and I'll touch more on that in the second bit of the show. I've got to try and stay away from things like TalkSport when I see their stuff come up, and it's difficult because obviously as West Ham fans we tend to share it, quote the retweet with he's talking absolute shit or whatever. I just want to cover a couple of these comments here. All right, so I'm going to go back up here to Paul. I'm going to go to the first one with Paul. I'd like to think, Paul, that Lingard wants to join us. I really do think he does. Now, you look at the relationship he's got with the players. You saw the way that after his first last night, the movement of Antonio, and obviously gave Lingard the run through, allowed him to score. You saw the way he celebrated with Antonio. You saw him on the replays. You saw him celebrate. You saw him point to him. You saw him give him, the kudos for the movement off the ball that got him the goal. So we can all see he's enjoying his football with us. We can all see that something special's being created. You know, his link-up play with some of the players that played last night. You know, we've seen it with Saeed in other games. You know, so I really do think he wants to stay, and I really do think he'll come. Now, I think Gatesy, you had this conversation on another channel. What's your limit with top price for Lingard that you'd pay? What's your top point now, seeing how important he is to the club, knowing that Man United are playing silly buggers as they are? What's your limit? How high do you go on price?
I actually, and I don't think this is going to be a popular view, but I personally don't think that you could spend more than 10 million on him. I think that would be the absolute limit. And the thing is that the reality is it's not about how much money we pay Manchester United. It's about how much we can convince Jesse Lingard to come to West Ham. Because if he's got a contract offer on the table and he makes it very clear that he wants to come to us, well, all of a sudden his price is reduced, you know, because you want a happy player. And if he's made that decision, and which I don't think we'll see because of his relationship with the Man United fans, I don't think he's going to turn around and rock the boat and say, I want to leave, at least not in public. But it really comes down to his behavior to, I think, what the price is. But regardless, like to pay something like 25 million for someone who only has a year left in his contract, I mean, maybe if we had Man City's owners, I could see it happening. But why? If I'm a businessman myself, why would you pay an astronomical price for something that's going to be free in 12 months' time? It doesn't make business sense to do that. His resale value is almost non-existent. If we sign him, we're going to sign into a decent contract, which will see him past his prime. And so I just simply don't see us paying a lot of money. And I'd love to see him sign for us, but let's also realise that we've not got Dimitri Payet here. You know, I love what Jesse Lingard has done to us, but after the 60-minute mark, he's done in a game. And maybe that's because he hasn't got the stamina, he hasn't played so much. But every time every time we've seen him play, as the game goes on, he does fade. And so, I don't know. I just think that it doesn't make sense for us to be spending more than 10 million.
Yeah, fair point. James, before I come to you, let me just bring Andy in because Andy's joined us. So let's see how crazy and madness we can make this show, shall we? Andy, how you doing, mate? You all right?
Yeah, happy Tuesday, gents. Happy Tuesday.
I guess you've heard all the other comments about what Simon Jordan's come out and said, yeah?
Yeah.
What about yourself? What would be your maximum price on Lingard that you'd spend there, mate?
25 million. 25 million for me. I reckon we can get away with probably like 17 and a half, and 17 and a half, sorry, and then 7.5 in add-on. So for example, if we get to, I don't know, an FA Cup final or England caps or goals, etc., I think Man United would love a little package like that, and I think he's worth the money, to be honest. He's the missing jigsaw we need, and if we didn't have Lingard last night, I'd dread to think what the score would have been, personally, after Antonio went off.
Yeah, fair point. James, maximum price for you?
25 million, mate. Signed, sealed, delivered, get it done. GSB have got to pull their money out their arse, I'm afraid. And at the end of the day, yeah, if you want top quality players, you've got to pay top quality money. And we're getting him for a snip at 25 million. And let's be honest here, Man United have dropped a bollock in letting his contract run down. Me personally, he has to come because it's who he can attract. That's another thing. Like, if you've got him there, you've got Declan Rice there, you're going to attract players to the club. And good players want to play with other good players, and that's what makes a good team. And that's what I'll go with. 25 million for me. Man United are going to play hardball on this, though. They are going to try their hardest to try and get some sort of money back. But if we're going to try and get anything less than 25, I think we're dreaming, if I'm honest.
Yeah, fair comment. I mean, you say, and a couple of others have said in the obviously polarizing comments of A, who's going to come in for him, or B, who's going to have the money for him, even if listen, one of the names that was banded around, and I'm gonna get this out there quickly before I come to you, Gatesy, on this one. Leicester. Obviously, we know that Vardy is now coming to this tail end, aren't we? We know that this fairy tale of non-league football, odd carrier on a building site, wherever he was, to England international, Premier League champion, etc., etc. This isn't going to last much longer for him, and we know that Leicester are going to be in the market for a goal scorer. Which, let's be fair, Jesse Lingard has proven that he can do that for us, and he's involved. His assists. I think is it nine goals involved, in goals scored, and yeah. So we're talking about who could go. I'm not being funny. If Leicester come in and heaven forbid they finish above us and they get Champions League football, surely that's going to be a more attractive prospect for him. Gatesy, what do you think?
Well, yeah, obviously from a footballing point of view, in terms of the prestige that playing in the Champions League would give to a player like Jesse Lingard, yes, that would absolutely be a big draw for him, I'm quite sure. So, yeah, I mean, but is that the only thing? I mean, it may well be that he's already set down sort of tentative routes in London. Do you know what I mean? Because he's got his daughter, if his daughter's sort of like got in to school or whatever in London, I don't know what the situation is, but there's a possibility that they might feel settled, and he might look at it and think, if we can offer a decent enough contract, and that is the if. But if we can offer a decent enough contract, even if we don't operate at a Champions League level next season, and Leicester do, it may well be that he thinks, do you know what? I'm happy where I am. I'm happy with my teammates. They love me. I love them. The fans love me. My daughter's happy here. Yes, Leicester can offer me a sort of like a higher tier European competition, but this club's moving in the right direction. I can see that they're trying to build something for the longer term. The manager's got a long-term vision. It's not necessarily just about what Leicester or West Ham can offer next season, but I think if Jesse Lingard can see into the distance that we're possibly going to offer him maybe something, if not next season, the season after, then I think that maybe sort of like comes into his thinking. But, at the end of the day, it's down to Jesse Lingard. Only he knows what he's after. I mean, next season he turns 29. So he knows that he's probably only going to have maybe another 2-3 seasons top whack operating at his peak levels before maybe his career starts to tail off. So it really depends upon him, But, I mean, he's going to want to play football. Wherever he goes, I think he will want assurances about game time, because that's something he's not had over the last 18 months or so.
But you've also got to understand, though, Rob, I'm not disagreeing you there. I agree with everything what you just said there, mate. But it's all about our owners. Our owners have to pay the money that Man United.
Yeah. And that was why I said right at the very beginning about the contract. I did state if. And that's the thing. That's the only thing that I think that could scupper this deal, is that if they were to be unrealistic, I mean, let's be honest about it. He should command, even if, let's say we get him for 15 million quid. Let's just suppose we get him for 15 million quid. I believe that's a good deal for a guy that's 28, England international, 8 games he's played, 9 goal involvement so far. I think that's absolutely incredible value for money myself. But, like I say, do the board. That is the worry.
Well, I think the other thing that we haven't considered yet is that it's not impossible that we have a repeat situation of Alex Song. When he first came to West Ham United, he was a freaking world beater. He was unbelievable. The second he signed that contract, he turned into absolute shite. You know, like he turned
into a Rigobert song when he
did. I nearly said that.
I didn't have him on my shirt. We're all right.
But you know what I'm like, and so we also have to realize that this season Lingard had everything to prove, and he has proved it. And so when we're branding around like that's a great idea, yeah, let's do that. But it comes down to Jesse Lingard. Like we said, it doesn't matter about our owners at Manchester United. If Jesse Lingard has made the decision that is happy at West Ham and wants to play here, then it means the ball is going to be in our court. We don't have to offer Man United as much money, and it will come down to him. But I do think that it's dangerous. We see him playing so well, so involved in the goals, but we do have to realize that it might not be as perfect as we hope. It doesn't always end in a fairy tale story. And we're West Ham fans. It almost never ends up in a fairy tale story for us.
Well,
but do you know what though? Sorry, Joe, to cut in, but if he gets us in the Champions League, that is a fairy tale story because I agree. We've only spent 6 million all season.
Yeah, I agree.
mean? So I can't. Listen, at the end of the day, if we pay 15 million for this man and he's here 3 years, if I get to see West Ham playing the Champions League and have that theme music running around Stratford, mate, that to me is that's an achievement that we will never see in our lifetime. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So
yeah, can't agree more. I mean, you say that about Alex Rigobert's song there. I think we've started to see that now with Dawson turning himself into relegation Roger over the last couple of games, because he certainly got me a little bit worried, and I've got to say, I did see on social media today that Oggy is actually back and should be back in full training at some point this week. So I'm kind of hoping that we see him back for the Leicester game. Hopefully, fingers crossed. If he can get 3 or 4 days full training under his belt,
it's still in there.
I'm kind of hoping. Andy, you got any more to say before I move on to my next little shake up that I've got to go on here? Trying to keep them 20 minutes each.
No, I agree with what both everyone said. Really, I think it is down to Lingard, and I said it a few weeks ago, and I'll say it again. You don't just wear your West Ham shirt when you're not playing and get your daughter a thing for the sake of it. Do you know what I mean? I think he's happy and settled, and London life. He's got Declan Rice with him. He seems like even after the game yesterday, you saw the way they were reacting and how happy he looks. You don't just do that, and I honestly think he's going to sign. I don't think there's any worries whatsoever.
Gatesy?
Yeah, as I say, the only thing that worries me is exactly what James said, is if the board was stupid enough to offer him a derisory deal for someone. I mean, for me, he needs to be remunerated, properly. We've seen the class that he brings. We've seen the attacking thrust that he brings to the team. He is that little bit of magic dust that we've been looking for quite some considerable time. Let's have it right. So he needs to be given a contract that reflects that. It's no good if Gold, Sullivan and Brady put a contract in front of him and say, yeah, we really want you, sign for $5,000 a week. It's not going to happen. Yeah. So it needs to be realistic.
Yeah, but do you know what, though, Rob? Rob, do you know what? Nothing would surprise me with them. Nothing would surprise me.
That's the concern.
And that is the problem. And everyone keeps saying, and I'm sorry to sort of cut in here, but at the end of the day, Lingard might want it at West Ham. We want him. He wants it. But do the board want it? And they're the ones who pay the bills at the end of the day. And we've got to realise that if they don't step up to the plate, this summer's massive. And they have to pay the money. Get the man at the club. And I said it on West Ham Fan TV. Well, I'm massive. Like I'm called Fat Boy Fever for a reason, bro. What I'm saying is, like, at the end of the day, they've got to pay the money. It's important that they just go, you know what? If Man United say they want 25 million, say, all right, done. Not even think about it.
Yeah,
For
but
someone like Leicester,
this is not going to happen, is it? Because our owners literally never do that. I wish it would, but our owners don't do that.
If we hesitate in the market, we won't get this player. And that is it. Because there will be a club that will come in like a Leicester. And let's be honest, Leicester are a bigger club at the minute than us. They've got the possibility of getting Champions League football or European football. Like, we're there at the minute, but let's see where we are after the 38-game schedule, and then we'll go from there. But obviously, we've got to be a bit realistic that Lingard has to be signed by our owners, and no hiccups, no hesitation, nothing. Just sign him up. Done. You know what I mean?
If they don't sign him, as far as I'm concerned, that is, in my opinion, it's a dereliction of their duty.
I agree.
Yeah.
No ifs, no
I agree on
buts.
that now.
Look at you with the big words. Oh, and the big meanings. You feeling all
Follow the
right?
dictionary. What can I say? Maybe it's the wine talking. I don't know.
He's got a dictionary out. What are you on about?
He's sitting in front of him under the camera, isn't it? He's like, what can I use tonight? You know, the book, Gatesy, the book. Listen, I mean, I'm going to move on. But listen, for me, 20 would be where I'd go. If Lingard wants to move as much as possible, you know, as much as we want the move as fans, and he turns around and rejects any advances of United trying to give him a new contract, go right in the reserves, turning down a Leicester, you know, a Leicester contract comes in because United accept it, but he doesn't want to go Leicester. He wants to come back down to London. He waits it out for 12 months and then comes to us next at the end of the next season. You know, because I'd still take him. I'd still happily take him in 12 months' time if we can't get him, you know, in this window. I still would take him, and I don't care. I'd have him on a freebie all day long, to be fair. Right. Let's stir the pot a little bit more, shall we? I do like this. I do like a Tuesday night. I do. So we've spoke about it before, guys. We really have. Hopefully, I'm putting my eggs in a basket a bit. I'm not necessarily saying Champions League or Europa League or even, you know, the Vanarama European Conference or whatever it's going to be called next season. What I'm looking is just Europe. All right. So we've mentioned that our wage budget isn't going to be, or sorry, not our wage budget, our transfer budget isn't going to be this pile of money. Someone mentioned in the chat earlier, Gatesy, you put it up that Man City lost 128 million in the last financial year. So we know that there isn't a great deal of money in. I'm going to smack you, Paul. Wait, that comes up in about 20 minutes. We ain't going to have this big pot of money. COVID has hit every country hard with regards to you know. We're talking about football. It's hit all the clubs ridiculously. So you look at France. France, I think, are in some severe dire trouble with regards to the. With regards to their wages, their finances and stuff. So I could see that, you know, the French market could be a good market to go into. But that being said, we've got 20 million guaranteed here right now, okay? 20 million guaranteed, and that was what we got for Haller back in January that he refused to spend. The board are telling us we've got another 40 million coming in. Stop it. 40 million coming in. To give us 60 million. Now, James, you've already said you don't think we're going to get that. Gatesy, you said that actually means that it's an average of about 13.3 million pound per player of the useless Herberts that are currently sitting there. Can you see us, in theory, replacing Anderson, Yarmolenko, and Lanzini for similar or better players, and then some more because we're going to need a bigger squad. So not only have you got to replace the 3 that are there, and maybe Lingard if we don't get him. So all of a sudden you're looking at 4 replacements. We know we need a striker. A goalkeeper's on the cards, either this transfer window or the next. Let's not fuck about. We know we're going to need to bring in someone that can sit in the centre of the park because of what's just happened now. My question to you boys is it not more prudent to keep the 3 in Yarmolenko, Lanzini and Anderson than trying to replace them for our assault on Europe? I mean, I'd rather hit the European free transfer market to bring in a couple. You mentioned it in a video not so long ago, Gatesy, that makes sense, right? Gatesy, kick us off, because I know you had a bit on this with one of your previous videos, mate. So you've got some names already up in the old noggin as to what you could do there. But first and foremost, would you keep the other 3?
Yarmolenko, no. And James and I discussed this a little bit earlier. Yarmolenko, definitely not. I think he has to go. I believe it's probably also in Lanzini's best interests to move on, because I just don't think that he's cut out for the Premier League anymore. And as I've said, too often he's half a yard, half a second behind where he once upon a time was, and where he really needs to be a success in the Premier League. I personally think that he would be a force in Serie A, because it's obviously a much slower league. I think he would shine in Serie A, but the Premier League, just no, absolutely not. As far as the free transfer market's concerned, you're right. I did a video 2 weeks ago, I think it was now, and I listed a raft of names who were available at the time, some of whom may still be, I don't know. One of whom we're apparently bringing in the summer in the Nikola Maksimovic from Napoli. Now, there's loads of other names on the list. I mean, you know, you've got the obvious ones that were mentioned in January, like Diego Costa, Daniel Sturridge. As for people that come available in the summer, I mean, a lot of them realistically we're not going to sign. I mean, like Lionel Messi, no chance. It'd be nice, but just not going to happen. David Alaba, not going to happen. Zlatan Ibrahimovic, not going to happen. But there's plenty of other names there that I looked at and thought, you know, in an ideal situation, would I go out and sign these players? Maybe not, but we're not in an ideal situation. You know, the budget's going to be pretty tight. I mean, James did an interview on Hammers Polls on Saturday. If any of you haven't seen it, check it out. Really good interview. And he turned around and said himself that there's approximately 30 million quid in the pot for transfers in the summer. And anything else that we're going to have to fork out will have to be raised from player sales. And as I say, if the purported figure was 60 million quid, that basically means that they're going to need to get 15 million there or thereabouts, maybe, for each player: Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Anderson. It's not going to happen. You'd be very lucky if you got probably 8 million quid for Yarmolenko. I think you'd be very lucky to get that. 31 years of age, injury prone. He's on 140k a week. You're not going to get that. Which then means that any shortfall on him, you're going to need to try and make up on the other players. Again, Lanzini, his knees bust. Are you going to get sort of like 20 million quid for him? Not a chance. Not a chance. Anderson, I was discussing this with James earlier. Now, Anderson, he's the one that on reflection, I might possibly look at keeping him. But the thing is that I think he needs to be utilised probably in what I think is his best role, which is as a number 10. The only problem with that is you've got Fornals, Lingard, and Ben Rama that can all operate there as well. So it's a difficult one. But I mean, the fact of the matter is the squad is thin right now in numbers. So we need to bolster our numbers. So if we're going to lose 3, and there's 2 others that we know we're going to be losing in the summer in David Martin and Fabian Balbuena. There may be others that I just can't think of off the top of my head. But that's 5 players that very likely are going to be leaving this club. in the summer. If we're going to try and bolster our numbers, then that means that as an absolute minimum, we need to pull in 6 players with 30 million quid plus whatever's raised. Difficult. So I think that free transfers and loans are going to be quite popular in the summer.
The problem is with that, and there is a problem with that, and I not necessarily agree, but we ain't got the personnel. We can't get rid of 3 players and then and replace them with 2 or 1, because that's what we're like. Like, we replace them with 2 or 1. At the end of the day, I get it with the Yarmolenko thing. I do. I really do. I understand it totally. But on the other side of the coin is we've got a light squad as it is. So we need 6 players with these 3 in there already. Do you know what I mean? We need, like Scott just put it in the comments about Rico Henry. I would go to Brentford and I would go there and I would go after Rico Henry, Jade Da Silva and Tony. I'd get all 3 of them out of Brentford because they're all top, really good players. But yeah, again, it goes back to our ownership, mate. Our ownership of just penny, like stripping the club away from us bit by bit, and they're taking these players away. Yeah, I get it with the Yarmolenko thing, but I'm not being funny. Nothing. Is it going to cost us more to let him go than it is to keep him?
Yeah, fair comment, Adam.
Well, I think the other thing that we've got to take into account is one of the reasons that we are performing so well is because of the team spirit we have at West Ham. The fact there's such a togetherness, the fact that the boys, they go in on their days off, and they've really built such a consistency with the guys that they've got. And so I don't want us to rock the boat too much because, we've been burned by that in the past with these big time players coming in. I mean, look at Dimitri Payet. He came in and then through the toys went out of the pram. He wanted to go. The same shit with Arnautovic, and it derails our season. We're finally in a situation where everyone that's there really truly looks as though they want to be there and they want to work for West Ham. And so with that being said, yes, Lanzini and Yarmolenko are hardly great for us, but they're part of this community and this team that we've built. Anderson, on the other hand, I would like to think if he was good enough and if Moyes wanted him as part of the team and he was a good influence, that we never would have shipped him out on loan in the first place. So I think as far as if we were to lose any players to get rid of them, I'd put Anderson as the main priority to go. But as everyone else has said, for us, it's way more important to bring people in than to lose players. We've already got, we've got such a thin squad, and what I don't want to see happen, because our owners have done this so many times, is the offers come in for the players that we don't really need, and so we sell them, and then they try and do their Del Boy tactics to get players in for cheap, and we end up with nobody at all. Yeah. And so, we all as fans have been, we've seen the owners work for long enough. We know what they do. They're not going to change the way that they run the business. And so I just hope that we bring players in first and foremost before we let anybody go.
No, yeah, I mean, listen, the good thing about this is the fact that we all can we all love the club at the end of the day. We've all got our opinions on things, and
yeah,
one of the reasons Gatesy and myself and James discussed trying to kick this show into gear over the course of a Tuesday night was the fact that it's nice to get everyone on. There's always going to be some sort of conflict, of course there is, and there will be some later. But this is what I like about doing this: is you get other people bringing in their points, and at points I find myself going, maybe I was wrong. I like that one. That's a fair comment there. Just before I go on to Andy, West Ham Online and Steve, welcome. I will get to you both momentarily. Just give me a minute or so with Andy. Andy, I know you've been trawling through my favourite website in the last 10 minutes on the transfer market website, which we all know their values are amazing. Hit me, mate. What you got?
I've got a few names, and I'd like everyone else's opinion. There's a few here which surprised me that Liverpool have let it go down. Is that Nat Phillips, 24 years of age?
Yeah.
He's out of contract in the summer. That could be a potential if we've got a European football. He may fancy the move. He doesn't play all the time for Liverpool. Another one what springs to mind is Josh King still. Josh King's up again on the free in the summer. I think he'll be a great backup. Potentially.
Andy, don't do it to
As
me,
a backup,
please, brother.
James. As a backup.
Yeah, I know. Please. I'd rather have Yarmolenko than Josh King, mate. I'm not gonna lie. What's he done for Everton? What has that man done at Everton? I would rather go and get Coventry and stick him up front, honestly, than have Josh King there.
Oh, here we go. Here we go. He's gone in early.
Oh no.
Right, then I'll pick my best mate. Then I'll have Christian Benteke. Then please, I'll get him on a free.
Do you know what? I think that's not a bad share. That's not a bad check. I want Ivan Toney at this club. He's the man that we have got to get. Like, we've got to pay the money and get the man at the club. Fuck all these free transfers and all that, because we're getting let's look at it.
We're on about a European campaign. I'm on about players who will come in and do a job and help us uncover them. This is not first team. This is first team opportunity. I won't be looking at this website. Realistically, we need 7 players in. Yeah, 7 players.
Well, if we're going to do that,
200 million.
If we're going to do that, we need to buy a striker and have Antonio as a second striker. Do this.
We need another one. We need another striker. Can't just have
Antonio. Go get Tony. Have Antonio, and then pick yourself up a freebie in the market. You can play your League Cup games, and maybe your FA Cup the early parts, or even a trip to Domzale whenever. You know, that's I see the points of it all. You know, Andy, what's your opinions on Anderson and Yama and Lanzini in there? Though, what do you reckon on that?
When we done the tier list, mate, I said Anderson should stay. I think he deserves another chance. I think Moyes will literally give him one more chance, and if he doesn't, then we've already at a loss anyway. So if he doesn't work out, he doesn't work out. But yeah, Lanzini and flipping Yama, I'll flipping pay for their Ubers to the hotel airport. Sorry, and then they can fuck right off.
Fair enough.
What's the best one on that list, Andy? What's the best one on that list? On that list you've just looked at, what's the best one? Like the best one you see of value? Who's could do a job for us?
I think it was Wijnaldum. He's
off to Barcelona.
But they don't think they can afford him now. Barcelona are looking at one of the youngsters in their La Mesa academy to bring up because they can't. They just don't have the money. Gatesy, that was plastered everywhere.
They'll find the money because the Catalan government will bail them out.
As always.
But with regards to, I agree. Rico Henry will be great, and if we sell Masuaku, Ryan Bertrand's available on a free as well. He's 31. I think he'd be a good addition. I think he's still performs well for Southampton. So, and he's a London boy as well, so we may be tempted with the move back.
I'm going to give you a player who will probably be about between 10 and 15 million. Maybe you could get him on loan. Oxlade-Chamberlain from Liverpool, if he's fit.
No. Do you know what?
The problem is, James, he won't be fit.
Sorry.
The problem is, Oxlade-Chamberlain will not be fit. The man plays a total of 7 games a season. I mean, he's in hospital as much as Jack Wilshere.
He's got his car parking space. What are you on about?
and he likes a little mix as well.
They know him as a member of staff down there at Southend Hospital now.
Steve, what do you reckon, mate, on the Lanzini, Yarmolenko, Anderson thing? What's your thoughts?
Well, Yarmolenko, I can't see anybody wanting to buy him. It's all well and good saying we want to get rid of these players. Somebody's actually got to want to buy them. And with the same Yarmolenko's on, with his injury record, do you actually think Yarmolenko's going to agree to go somewhere for half the salary? I can't see it. He's got a year left. Anderson, Fo put in the comments that last year Anderson was suffering from depression and that's why he played badly. If that's the case, then we know we've got a player in there. Let's see if we can get his head sorted. I mean, I've said this before when chatting to Gatesy on one of these calls. You could tell with Anderson it was in his head. There's nothing to do with his ability. Lanzini, never been the same since the injury.
Yeah.
The wonder goal he'll be remembered for forever, 3-0. I agree with Gatesy. I think you do know that plays just a bit slower because he just hasn't got Premier League pace anymore. As much as it pains me to say it, I'd get rid of I'd sell Lanzini because actually I think Lanzini is the one player out of those three people will be prepared to pay money for at the moment.
How much, Steve, would you say?
Lanzini?
10 quid.
Yeah.
Well, didn't PSG?
I'll be right back, boys. Bear with me.
Didn't PSG 15 million for him in January? Was that?
I think they did. I think we turned it down. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, if they came back in with 15 million, yeah, I get him gone for 15 million because particularly in the current climate where you've got the likes of City losing 128 million, 15 million for a player is a lot of money now.
But can we replace Lanzini though? But can we replace Lanzini with a player who's £15 million of better quality than Lanzini? That's the $1 million question.
Could do it, yeah.
I reckon we can as well.
West Ham online. No, go on. Sorry, mate. I thought you just stopped. Go on.
Could we replace Lanzini? Yeah, I reckon Moyes could do it.
And what about Yarma? What would you do with him?
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we got you. Go on.
Got me now, right? Yeah, I reckon Moyes could replace Lanzini with a better player for 15 million. I wouldn't have had confidence Pellegrini could do it. I wouldn't have confidence Sullivan could do it. But if you give Moyes 15 million and say, right, you've got to replace Lanzini, I think there's a fair chance. He seems to have a fairly decent track record in that respect.
How about what Ken just said there, João Mario, as a replacement for Lanzini?
No. Yeah, but Mario,
he's
I'm
done.
sorry,
He's
but
done.
I respect Kent's opinion, yeah, but let's all go back a few years ago when Mario was playing against Wigan in the FA Cup and we got battered 2-0 with our reserve team. João Mario was nowhere to be seen. I'm sorry, but we need to be looking better than these bootleg retirement home players. We've done that years ago with Les Ferdinand coming to the club and people like that who just want to finish their careers off at West Ham for a payday. I've had enough of that. Yeah. I want us to go out. I want us to go and get young. We've promised young, fresh players. We're going to be a young, hungry team. So where are they? Someone tell me where they are, because I don't see no young players. I see some
in the Championship and in the Czech Republic, mate.
Well, yeah, I think we will get young players. I think we will personally.
I'm not a fan of Mario. I just think he does nothing he's done nothing in Inter. He come here and done nothing. That's why we didn't sign him. He's looking to come over here just to get be like a reserve team player, basically. Again, I think I'd rather go in the Championship and nick a player from Nottingham Forest or somewhere like Reading or somewhere. Do you know what I mean? Young, fresh, and up for it, rather than Mario.
Someone on the way up rather than on the way down.
Yeah, couldn't put it any better.
West Ham online, talk to me.
I've got a few things to cover from what I've heard so far. I agree with what James just said on Mario. I wouldn't say he didn't do anything when he was here. He scored 2 goals, which were crucial in us staying up. But I do agree, quality-wise, it'd be a really I think he's worse than Lanzini, if I'm honest. So I don't get that one. Benteke for me is useless. He has the touch of a wardrobe. 3 goals in 40 games he was on at one point. He's been in okay form this season, and by okay form I mean he's got 5 goals, which is a miracle for a man of his level at this stage. For me, Benteke wouldn't even do it in the Europa League, so I'd stay clear of that, man. For me, I'd be looking at Myron Buda from the Dutch league. I'm a big fan of him, and it will be interesting to see how much he is, because if we're talking backup, I think he'd be okay at the moment, and he's got a lot of potential. But the main striker I want, I think I'm in agreement with James, is Tony. Personally, I'm a big fan of Tony. I think he's everything we want and everything we need. And I also want Henry from Brentford. And I just saw Foe's comment, Brentford are coming up, we should look elsewhere. Foe, I'm not sure if you've realised, but Brentford certainly aren't coming up automatically, I don't think. Watford have created a bit of a gap with them now, so they often bottle the playoffs, so we'll have a look on that one. But yes, for me, Rico Henry and Ivan Toney should be 2 players we should look at. I'd steer clear of Benteke, absolutely clear, and
If
also Josh King too.
If you want a young midfielder, go after De Silva
Yeah,
at Brentford. Josh De Silva, box to box, young, fresh, only early 20s, ex-Arsenal, gone to Brentford. My mate, who's a Brentford fan, who I had a good conversation with on Hammers Polls, said basically he's top draw. Like, why are we going after these people people say he's only 31? Like, he's only 31 because he can't get a club elsewhere, and he's crap, basically. And that's why West Ham are coming in for him.
Isn't he at Lokomotiv Moscow or something like that? Like, that's where I last saw him.
Blimey, mate, he should be out of Mongolia.
He is bad.
I'm not a fan, mate. I'm not a
fan. And the last player who I'd personally look at is, I said it a couple of weeks ago. I personally don't want Armstrong. I think he misses too many chances. Even Blackburn fans said they think he's not ready for the Premier League, and Bradley Dack's a better player, which is worrying. So personally, I'd stay clear of Armstrong as well. And yeah, I'm really looking at even Tony, and I think the club personally will go for En-Nesyri from Sevilla, who I'm not too sure on. I can't say.
I don't get that
twice.
I don't get that. So. I do not get that fascination with that. It's one player that I could sit back and go, I don't get the fascination with him. I don't know whether about anyone else. I just don't see it like the En-Nesyri type thing. When I look at Tony, he's like the complete replica of Antonio, but En-Nesyri is like the next big thing by the sounds of it. I don't know about anyone else.
Anyone want to jump in on that one?
Abraham.
Yeah, I don't know. En-Nesyri, I watched him against Dortmund and he scored 2 goals. But his overall performance, I actually think he's a bit too similar to Haller. And Haller, for me, was one of my most hated players I've seen at West Ham. The guy had the movement of an ice cube. He was useless, in my opinion. The Statue of Liberty, it should have been called Statue of Paris, and it would have been Sebastian Haller. The man is... If En-Nesyri is anything like Sebastian Haller, I'd stay clear, because we don't need any more hippos up top.
Right, well, he came in with that.
That's 58 minutes. I'm impressed.
Oh, yeah, you know what? I think we've done well there. Right, okay. The time has come, people. The time has come. So, it's time. No. It's time. So, Gladiators, are you ready?
I can't believe he's made banners for this.
What's going on?
Wow. Are you ready?
Where's the hat? Where's the hat and the whistle?
Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here comes my next banner. Those of you who want to leave can do. So, gentlemen on my screen, top right, I think will leave. because I think the gentleman middle bottom is just going to go to town with this one. Go.
Mr. West Ham doubt has proved wrong.
So, now then, I put together, so yesterday, I got really, really riled up with a lot of so-called West Ham fans. And I'm going to nail my banner to the mast straight off the bat. Mark Noble is not good enough when you're playing against the likes of Chelsea, Man U, Liverpool, Spurs, Arsenal, etc., etc. These clubs. Last night, perfect game for him to walk into. Perfect game for him to walk into. Mm-hmm. Did he put a foot wrong? No, I don't think he did. Did I think he had a blinding game? Yeah, I really do. Now, when I logged onto Twitter after midday yesterday afternoon, and every single West Ham fan on the planet had their hearts broken by the news that TalkSport put out and then deleted and then put back out again. And I was one of them that was absolutely devastated. And the video we did the night before, Gatesy, West Ham Online, you were there. I was not in a good place for it. I was very.
You was in tears.
Kind of,
you was in tears.
I was. You're right. So then I go onto Twitter and everything else afterwards, and I see all of this shit. Okay, and these are just some comments that were taken off of Twitter pages yesterday. Okay, yeah. I've gone through and I've picked him up today. The truth is, his performances aren't even as good as Carlos Sanchez.
Oh, I need to butt in here. Sorry, Gates. Sorry, Duke. I need to quickly make a call out on that one. I saw that comment. I think it was Alan Repza. Alan, I like you, but that's disgusting from you. Carlos Sanchez is the worst midfielder I've ever seen at West Ham. The man dribbled past the wall.
Do you know what? This is one thing that I've sort of gathered since I've seen things on Twitter. Because don't forget, I'm new to the game like you boys, right? But there's so-called West Ham fans, and I'm going to be straight with you. They talk a lot of bollocks, mate, and they haven't got a clue.
Yeah.
They don't live it. They've never seen it.
Don't.
Like,
they don't.
They live it from afar and go, you know what? I'm a fan, and they're about as much fan as me fan. This fan next to me here. Do you know what I mean? and that's no joke. Do you know what I mean?
Like I say, all of that there has been pulled, and they're the ones that, to be honest, they're the ones that I wanted to take off. I've got to say, and Gatesy, you saw it as well, didn't you? There was stuff on there that was actually directly tagged into Mark Noble's Twitter account. You know, please don't start for my club tomorrow. If you're picked, please tell the manager no, etc., etc., etc. Now, listen, as I've said, against United, Arsenal, City, Liverpool, Chelsea, Spurs, 6 or 7 clubs in the Premier League, is Mark Noble going to be right to be in that game? No. But what are you all laughing at?
I'm laughing at the fact that you near enough went through half the table near enough there.
No. There was only 7.
Can't do. 7.
Is he capable of playing in a game against Newcastle, Wolves, West Brom, Sheffield United? Any of that bottom 7 down? All day long. He proved it last night.
Do me a favour, because Jay-Z or whatever his name is, J to the Z or whatever it's called, is just digging me out, right? So I'm going to put him straight on a few things straight away. Right, first of all, I will dig out Noble because Noble's been shite. Right, let's get real. Right, he played well yesterday. Right, and I would hold my hands up, and I'll be the first one to admit the boy played well yesterday. But he didn't play well against Chelsea. He didn't play well against Brighton. He didn't play well against Arsenal. And he didn't play well amongst other games. So let's not get fucking carried away and start saying that he's a new Pirlo. He's had one good game. Let's see what he's like against Leicester. Then I will come back again and I'll say I got it wrong. So that's him sorted out straight away.
What did he say?
Do you know what I mean? I'm not. Don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. I will always hold my hands up when I'm wrong. Yeah, but the geezer has played really. He played well yesterday. Now I will be the first one to admit when the geezers played well. But there's been games this year that he's gone past him. When David Luiz is running past him, then you've got problems. So that's all I'm going to say on that.
I mean, listen for my 5 pence worth. All right. I personally thought we had a blinding game yesterday. I think he done everything he needed to do. Thank you, James. Jake, not James. Jake. Don't worry about fun. I really did, if I'm honest, I really did enjoy watching a lot of backtrack on social media late last night and this morning, and the sudden disappearance of certain tweets that I'd seen 24 hours before, absolutely slating Noble across the board, and all of a sudden that tweet's no longer there and you're saying that Noble had a good game. Like you, James, you've just been manning up the standard and go, you know what, he did a job last night, fair play. He's certainly not going to be the player that we need him to play in the bigger games, but against Newcastle, Sheffield United, West Brom, Southampton, I still think he can go out there and do a job. For me, I want to see in the game against Leicester, I want to see Fornals. I want to see Fornals in that spot next to Souček, Benrahma left, Lingard middle, Bowen right, and Antonio, if he's fit, obviously, up top. Gatesy, over to you. I'm moving back from my camera so nothing can hit me when people throw it.
Listen, Mark Noble is what, 33, 34 years of age? Is he does he deserve to start regularly in the Premier League if everybody's fit? No. That's the truth. He doesn't get in ahead of Souček and Rice. Can Mark Noble still do a job coming off the bench in the Premier League? Yes, I believe he can. There are certain games that I think he's not suited to, and you've alluded to them. If you're going against teams with an abundance of pace, he is like a fish on a bicycle. And I'm not being unkind. I'm not digging him out, but that's a fact. He's never been someone that's been blessed with a great deal of pace, but now in his twilight years as a Premier League player, I think it's fair to say that any team that has an abundance of pace about them, they just make him look daft. But as you say, can he do a job against teams like Wolves, West Brom, Southampton, Fulham, teams like that? Well, yeah, he can. I mean, James mentioned about the Brighton game. Yeah, he didn't have a good game, but then again, the team didn't have a good game. So it wasn't just him. I mean, part of it, we've all sort of like said about the Brighton game, part of it was down to the formation, the team selection, blah, blah, blah. And that's down to David Moyes, not Mark Noble. Now, I'm not daft enough to think that, one swallow makes a summer. He had a good game yesterday. Will he, can he back it up with, another game against Leicester? That remains to be seen. The one thing that I was very, very disappointed about, however, and you've alluded to it, Duke, and you brought some of it up, but I mean, the one you didn't bring up was one that I saw yesterday and you saw as well, where someone who purports to be a West Ham fan actually advocated Mark Noble getting injured and being out for the rest of the season. Whoever you are, that was disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. Now, you might not think that Mark Noble's a good player. You might think he's crap, whatever. You're entitled to your opinion, not a problem. But to actually advocate physical harm on someone, I find disgusting. End of conversation.
Andy?
I said it on Jake's show earlier. I thought he was in the top 3 of players who played last night. I'd give him a low 8 out of 10. To be honest, it's not just what he done with the ball and out the ball. It's what he done. He organised and helped us through that last 15, 20 minutes. I think that could have been a lot ugly.
Hold on a minute. Who's this Dan dog? West Ham Online and James.
I couldn't get into their private chat quick enough, did I?
Yeah, mate, right.
What does it say?
First of all, Dan needs to spell my name right. Do you know what I mean? I know you can't spell properly, mate, but that's not your fault. Do you know what I mean? You need to go learn the dictionary. It's Feaver. That's the first thing, bruv. The second thing, right? If Noble plays well, I will back him. If he don't play well, he needs to be told he hasn't played well. And Mark Noble will be the first one to come out and say he hasn't played well, right? So you can get off your aisles on that one straight away. Fornals has been missed.
I
4
don't
weeks
remember
out.
slating Fornals personally. Can I quickly say, Dan?
Well, as far as Dan knows, me and you have been criticising him West Ham online, but this is a geezer who can't even spell my name properly, mate. So I wouldn't even recommend it. Like, do you know what I mean? The geezer needs to sit down with a dictionary and start learning how to spell before he starts criticising and cussing on me. You know what I mean? I'm called Fat Boy Fever, mate. I ain't worried about some idiot who thinks he knows it. You know what I mean? Listen, Noble has been playing as a number 10, right? Mark Noble's a central midfield player from all the years he has played. Yeah, he's never been a number 10, and he's been advanced into a number 10 position multiple times in a 3-5-2, right? As the advancing number 10 does not work. Yeah, last night he played well. I'll give it to him. Well done well. Let's see what he's like against Leicester. Let's see what he's like against Newcastle. Let's see what he's like against Chelsea. Like, let's not get carried away. Like, one game. Yeah, he's done well, but we've got 8 cup finals to go, gentlemen. Yeah, and to Dan, we've got 8 cup finals from Glory. Let's hope he performs like that in the next 8. Enough said.
Andy, any more from you on that?
Sorry, I was getting ready to get the boxing gloves out and the weigh-in. I think Eddie Earn's on the phone. No. Sorry. No, like I was just saying, it was the last 10-15 minutes. Noble's leadership and the experience helped us through that, the slowing of the game on the free kicks and stuff like that. And yeah, no, just general game management on it. And to be honest, I'm surprised he lasted the 90. I'm not going to lie, and I was exactly the same as James. I was.
Sorry about that.
Behave yourself, Fever. Carry on there.
I was enjoying that. Do you know what I mean? I was enjoying that moment where he's a couple of penalties.
And I was exactly the same as James. I was saying, "Oh my God, I can't believe Noble's playing." But as you said, as a West Ham fan, we like to be proved wrong. Nicky from West Ham Fan TV say it. I guess everyone in this room, if we're proven wrong as a positive, that's nothing more than we can say. But with regards to the big games, no, I wouldn't want to see him in there, but he'll definitely do a job against the bottom half teams.
Can I quickly say, I quickly left to check the comments. Can you quickly get that second comment up, Duke?
What one was this?
I think I saw another comment.
This one?
I mean, what is that? That one.
This one?
Yeah, that one. 50. I don't know where you got that from.
No, you talk about Steve.
You do sound a bit older, mate.
I mean, like, you got a geezer who's telling me I'm deluded, but he can't spell my name properly. So
anyway,
bruv, get a grip of life.
Well, back to can I go on Noble? Can I chip in?
Yes, I was about to come to you there, Squire.
All right. So I actually was happy to see Noble on the team sheet. That is exactly what I would have wanted to see, and I'm going to explain why. Do you want to? Is someone kicking off?
No, no. I just saw this from Cattle. Andy was quiet during James's drink. He had to sign into his other.
That would be amazing if that was true. But you know, the thing is, people give Noble like shit for this season, but every time he's played, apart from yesterday, they're trying to fit another defensive sitting midfielder with Rice and Soucek. You know, when he comes on, when both of those are on, the whole team crumbles because no one knows where they're supposed to be. Positioning is out the window. It's a mess. And, you know, and that's why you see players running past him because no one knows what they're supposed to be doing. Rice and Soucek have got such a good understanding of each other that they've got the center of the field sorted out. And so when one of them is injured, Mark Noble is exactly the player who should come in to replace him. That is what his role should be at West Ham now. He knows he's not a starter, but he cares about the club and he's going to come in and do the best he can. He can still do it. Yes, is he as quick or is he as good? And I think for West Ham fans, we've been spoiled because
Dan isn't wrong. James says Antonio is shit, and who doesn't rate? Mate, is this a
I
fucking
don't rate
wind
Ben
up or
Rama,
what?
to be honest.
This is,
always said it.
mate. Is this a wind up on me? Come at me then.
Dan-
Listen, mate.
Dan's
Listen.
clearly
Hold on, West Ham online. Hold on. I'll put obesity in front of my name, bruv. Yeah. Do I look like I'm bothered? Listen, Antonio. Right. Next season, I want him on the bench. I want a striker at the club who's going to score 15, 20 goals a season and bang us up the league. Yeah. Ben Rama should be playing anymore. Come at me.
Right, Duke, can you get that up quickly again?
Oh my days, mate. Keep going.
That one?
Right, that's clearly
Keep going.
Dan Dog again. And can we just appreciate the spelling on doesn't right there?
Adam, carry on, please.
No, I know. Before it goes into carnage, but yeah. I mean, I was just saying about Noble. Like, I think that is exactly what he's there to do, and he did fine yesterday, and he is the other. You know, he's the backup for Rice and Souček. We're spoiled because those two guys are literally world class. I mean, Souček and Rice are both absolutely incredible. So when you throw any player into the mix, they're not going to look as good. And so, you know, I think Noble's been judged a bit harshly. And as far as the Ben Rama, I've always said this, and I know it's not a popular opinion, but I want Ben Rama to do really well. I just don't think he's got what it takes to be a Premier League player. And I hope I'm wrong.
Can I say something to Adam? 1 second, right? Me and Andy done the stats on this yesterday, funny enough.
Phone call.
Andy. All right, hold on. Andy, we spoke about the other day about the stats on the 90 minutes. Ben Rama, in 23 games from yesterday, has only completed 90 minutes twice. So how can anyone judge him?
Well, all we can do is judge him on what we've seen. And I'm guessing that's all Moyes can do, which is the reason why he isn't playing 90 minutes. You know, I mean, we don't know. I want him to do really well, but has he stepped up to the Premier League like he was in the Championship? No. And it will come a time where we've given him enough opportunity. I think he hasn't had it yet. Like I say, I'm not writing him off. Absolutely not. I want him to be a star for West Ham. I want him to step up and I want him to succeed. But I think that the reality is the jury is still out.
No, I agree. I agree, and I don't. The reason why I as well is if you think of the chances, I can think of 5 off the top of my head. He's set up Antonio. Antonio's either missed the target or hit the post. That's 9 assists what he would have instead of the 4 he has. Then we're talking on a different level. So that's my point. What I'm making, mate, as well.
Yeah, that's a good.
If you had a world class striker who would finish, we wouldn't be saying this.
Yeah, maybe. I know. I mean, and I totally agree.
Round of applause there.
But once again, like, we don't, and so we're left with what we've got. You know, we don't have a world class striker, and so we need Ben Rama to get in about the goals, and it's good. Look, we've got really good competition for those forwards at our club. It's nice that for the first time in a long time, we can look at the bench and have players on the bench who have got potential. And that was a kind of a joke.
Hang on, James. Hang on. Let me just bring Steve in. Steve, your opinions on the whole Noble situation, buddy?
Well, I'll tell you what, the people who criticised him, I've got no time for. When they've played 500 games for the club, then they can moan. They couldn't even stand on the pitch and compete. So to go and judge Noble, I think is ridiculous. He had a great game last night. I think James is right. We'll see how he performs in the other ones. But he's done what he's there for now. He's a squad player, and he did a squad player's job last night. And if you're going to keep comparing him to Rice and say, Rice would have got that, Rice would have got this, it's not going to happen. Noble can't do it. No. But within what he's got, he always does 110%. And I'm quite happy if he has to start because I know at the end of the game, he will have left everything on that pitch. And I don't think you can ask much more of that from anybody, to be honest. So that's where I stand on it.
I agree.
Yeah, I mean, thing is, it's an interesting one. Cheers, Fo. Take care, buddy. It's
safe,
an
mate.
interesting one because it's certainly it's very polarizing for me, the whole Noble subject, and it's a reason. Part of the reason I wanted to throw it out there tonight because I knew we'd get some interesting backward and forward between, the guys on the channel. Listen, not necessarily these lot down in the chat. There's a few in there.
You've rigged it up, right? You've got a couple of people to trigger me.
I promise you. Listen, I promise you, they are nothing to do with me. Absolutely nothing to do with me. They've come on their own back.
You got a geezer who's slagging me off.
Unless my missus is out there having a dig.
Mate, there's a geezer on there who's dyslexic who's giving me a load of grief, and there's another geezer saying that I'm criticising Ben Rama and all that. Do you know what I'm going to say about Ben Rama? That I'd like to hear everyone's opinion, right? He's not good enough to start, but he's good enough to come on and try and change the game for us, don't he?
Yeah.
Explain that one.
Yeah.
Like he's okay. He's okay to come on for 10 minutes and 15 minutes, and everyone goes, you know what? He ain't good enough, right? He's not performing. He's not this. He's not that. Why ain't he scored yet? But no one complains when he's coming on the pitch to try and save us a point or try and win us a game.
Well, that's what his role is. I mean, at the moment, that's exactly what Moyes is giving him as a role, really, to be a sub. And I mean, the value that he's got, if he's going to come off the bench, well, I expect him to make something happen for the sort of money we paid for him.
Adam, I'm not being rude, nothing, mate. We're playing Manchester United in the FA Cup, and he comes on the 87th minute. That's not, to me, that's
Moyes'
not
substitutions are something that's a different subject altogether.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're all unhappy about that. But I'm just saying that once again, competition is a great thing. We've got a lot of players in those positions, and Moyes has done well this season. We've simply got to trust him. And I know he's not been happy with the lack of tracking back when Ben Rama plays. He did give away a penalty one of the games he played when he attempted to track back. But I mean, like I said, I want him to do well. He's got a lot of competition. I think it's very difficult to say that he justifies a starting position when we haven't seen why. I mean, we haven't seen him any better than any of the other guys that are up there.
But the thing is, to join in with James's, his attitude towards Ben Rama there, we're not going to see anything from him really if we're going to see 10 minutes here, 15 minutes there, or we're not going to give him, the time or the starts, etc. Now it's hard because again, it's one of those situations where we've got a hell of a lot of good players. For me, a hell of a lot of good players, that can do that job. You've got to look at the likes of, Fornals. Fornals came to us, and again, James, we've discussed this in previous videos. Fornals came to us as that flair player. Like I said before, I watched him in the Euros, the under-21 Euros, and I thought, my God, we've got something special on our hands right now. I thought we had someone that was coming in that was absolutely outstanding, was going to be someone that had me sitting on the edge of my seat watching the games, and I was just going to be absolutely blown away by what Moyes has now done is he's taken that, to a degree, that kind of flair and that kind of attacking attitude out of Fornals and kind of ground it in and mixed it up with that defensive dirty work that we see him now do so often when he's out on that left hand side and he's covering Cresswell. That was another one. The people that said that Cresswell's finished really wound me up. Andy, how loud is your keyboard typing? How loud is your keyboard typing, son? Jesus, H sweat. Clackety clack clack. Sounds like trains coming from the ear roll.
Someone's calling me a liar. Sorry.
Oh, here we go. I can't do this anymore. No, I mean, I saw people saying that Cresswell was finished, even after yesterday's game, that he's finished, and it frustrates me because.
But you can't. But the thing is, though, Duke, you can't say that Cresswell in the last 2 games has been good because he's been awful.
But then
He
I
has
could
been
say
awful,
the same
right?
thing about Dawson, Diop. Souček
Well,
wasn't
yeah.
fantastic last night for me.
I don't know about
really,
Souček, mate. I don't know
I
about
wouldn't
Souček.
say
I
he was
think Souček was all
fantastic
right.
last night, though, James. I wouldn't say he was fantastic. You know,
But then-
I think he missed Declan Rice, and he was trying to carry a little bit more there. You know, he's got Noble next to him, so I think he was having to think doubly hard about the job he was having to do, which took his mind off of his own personal game. And because of that, he didn't have a great game, and I think he at certain points as well, I do believe he got left behind in the game. I'm not saying it happened often, but I'm saying it happened at certain points of the game, and it's hard because, you know, again, Fab should have done better with their second goal. He kind of knelt down towards his near post when he probably, if he dived, he would have saved it. It was a good shot, don't get me wrong, but if he dived, I think he could have saved it. Listen, I ain't a Premier League goalkeeper. I'm not going to pretend to be, but my opinion is I think he could have got down and saved it. Diop, Johnson.
You mean Championship
Not far
Craig?
off.
Championship Craig.
Yeah, Dawson, Cresswell, Soufal had an okay game last night. Was he outstanding?
No. I'm sorry, no way am I going to have you say he's played okay last night. He kept Traore massively quiet, and the only time Traore got past
was all across the pitch, mate. Listen, I think Traore last night was absolute
What did Traore do?
on whatever position he played.
Oh, no, Duke, man. You can't say about Kafal. Kafal was all right last night.
I said he had an okay game. I didn't say he was shit. I just said he had an okay game. I didn't think he was outstanding.
Blimey, what's your okay game then? What's your okay to very good game then? Right, what would you rate Kafal right now, last night?
Last night, 7.
You just rating that a 7. I'll probably go with that. Yeah, I wouldn't say he's an 8, but I'd say he's a 7, definitely. So if you're okay, I'm a harsh critic.
7, average is 6. I mean, hey, what we got?
Yeah, I'm a harsh critic, so it don't matter.
Oh, James, I've got a question for you.
I love it.
James, talk to me. Tell me why you thought Rice was crap.
Oh, mate, this is definitely a trolling session tonight, mate. But I'm going to say it. Yeah, I'm going to say it anyway. Do you know what I mean? Right, I guarantee you, there's a few people in the comments here, but like, at least this man can spell. Explain why I said rice crap. Go on.
Explain why you called rice crap. Go on.
I've never said that rice is crap. I said rice is world class, mate.
James, man.
Mark, you can check it on West Ham Fan TV in front of 56,000 subscribers. I said that he's world class. I said he's worth 150 million. And stop trolling, bruv, because you will not get a reaction from the fat man. There you go. Right, man. Next.
How many accounts have you got, Milesy?
Yeah. I swear it's always dozens.
She wouldn't know how to use it, mate. Don't worry about that. She can barely use a calculator.
No, I'm watching Liverpool get destroyed. That's what I'm watching. What's
the score? Tell me.
They're losing 3-1.
Oh.
Trent Alexander-Arnold, the best right back in the league, according to Jamie Carragher, done a nice header back to a set them right up.
And what's the other game? Who's playing the other game?
4G, everyone. I've resorted to 4G.
Hey. Yeah, what's Man City Dortmund score?
They were winning 1-0.
1-0. Yeah.
Who scored?
All right, here we go. Question. I'm gonna go around. Right, rapid fire me some questions in the chat, guys, that are not trolling James. Thoughts on sending Ben Johnson out on loan? Gatesy, you?
No.
James?
No.
Who?
It depends if we sign anyone else.
Fair play. Adam?
No, our squad's too thin. We can't send anyone out.
Fair play. And Andy?
Full house.
Woo!
Bingo.
We can all agree on something. Look at that.
It's always a good start. Give me 2 seconds.
Oh, look at Duke down again. The four phones. Look at Duke down again. The 4 phones he's used to troll me tonight.
No, I was just saying goodnight to my son. Shut up, you. Right, what else we got? Let's have a look. Message from Postman Paul. Answering how we fit Saeed Ben Rama in. James, I'm not coming to you with this one. I'm going to go Adam.
Like I said, I mean, I think as an impact sub right now, when someone else gets injured and we give him an opportunity, if he takes it, great. But right now, I think he just needs to impress off the bench until he gets another opportunity.
Fair play. Andy?
He gets in for me anyway. But no, he definitely, like I said, 4 nails in behind with Stuchek, and then the front four like it was against Arsenal will cause anyone problems.
Who?
I think we'll have to wait till next season to fully fit him in. I reckon he'll end up being a left midfielder, but it depends what formation we play next season.
Fair enough. Go on in, James. I know you want this one. We know you're a big Saeed fan, so give me yours.
Release him on a free. No, I do not. No, I don't. Well, I don't. Listen, he has to start getting in the team somehow, mate. Like, I'm not being funny. Me and Andy done the stats on this, and it's frightening, really.
That show this week.
Yeah. And I'm not being funny enough. In 23 games, he's played 2 full games, start to finish, at 23. So that to me says a lot. Do you know what I mean? I'll tell you what, going on a bit serious one at the minute. I actually think there's something in his contract. You know, it wouldn't surprise me if he is there something in his contract where he can't complete 90 minutes. Or if he gets to 10 or 20 90-minute games, that West Ham have to pay a fee or something. I don't know, but 23 games and 2 games where he's started 90 minutes is a bit suspect to me.
You know what? Yeah, we've had that in contracts before, haven't we? Where we have refused to play players, and I'm sure others watching might know that.
We've bought him now, though, haven't we? It's not like he's still on loan from Brentford.
Yeah, no, but there might be something in the contract, mate. There might be something in the contract as part of an additional fee. But yeah,
you know, like a signing on bonus or something, like an appearance bonus or something like that.
I don't think Moyes would care about that. I mean, really, I don't think that's going to make any.
Yeah, but
he might not. But those above might.
Yeah, but do you think 2 90-minute games out of 23 can justify the criticism that he gets?
Does he get a lot of criticism? I haven't seen a ton of criticism on him.
What's that, Andy?
What are you showing me there?
Duke's Pub.
Duke's Pub, 10 days. You know it. Right, I've got another question for you. It's just come in from Scott. I really don't know what to do with the Leanne Jones one. We'll come back to that in a minute. One from Scott. If someone came in, James, wait.
Oh my God, mate. I love it. Thank you.
I'm going to literally one-word answer, yes or no. If someone came in with 20 million for Issa Diop, would you sell? Andy, go.
No. He's our most promising prospect centre back.
More than one word. James, yes or no?
No.
Adam?
No.
Gatesy?
Nope.
And who?
Nope.
Full house.
Full house again. Right, I just want to go back to covering a Saeed Ben Rama one. It was answered, Paul. Stop sending me messages with your little fishing rods, right? It was answered. And it was said that, you know what, he gets into the team on the left-hand side as and when he can prove that he deserves that position. Right, James.
I'm loving this, honestly. Keep them coming.
Why don't you like Fredericks?
Because he's shit.
Well, why have you got these agendas against people, James? What's going on?
Well, what's he done for West Ham? in the 3 years he's been here? Answer me that.
We've had some
And we have to go-
cracking games.
I think this season, to be fair, James,
Right,
he's played
right.
quite well. I do think he's played well this
What do you
season.
mean he's played quite well this season from
No,
the
he
bench?
has. Correct me if I'm wrong, everyone. When he's played this season, he's played well.
Right,
In my
okay.
opinion, yes. When he started, I think he's
Okay.
played well. Yes.
Okay. There's one game he's played well in, and that was against Villa away. Name me another one.
Come
I
on.
don't know. He played 4 games at the start of the
Arsenal
season
at
before he got injured.
He created the most.
He
chances
played.
Arsenal
away.
have
Hold on
ever
here.
had.
Hold on. He played against Newcastle. We lost. He played against Arsenal. We
Arsenal
lost.
away.
He was good
Arsenal
against
lost.
Arsenal.
away.
Where else,
Yeah.
Andy?
Yeah, but that,
He didn't play badly against
Yeah.
Newcastle or against
I
Arsenal,
genuinely
though, did
think
he?
he's our
Really?
He was the best player against
Oh
Newcastle.
my days! Am I hearing this right? We go and sign a £5.4 million
You
player
and
from
your agendas, right?
the Eastern European League. He comes in, he becomes a well beater, and puts Fredericks on the bench.
yeah,
But another
Fredericks
thing-
is a winger.
No one said that, did we? No one
He's
said
not a winger.
that.
Don't go down that road of a winger,
James,
please.
this comment here says
Please.
you have an agenda. Do you agree with
I
that?
have-
Because this season,
I
he's
have an
played-
agenda. Do you know what I mean? Bring back Jordan Hugo. That's what I say.
can't-
Anyway,
Oh, actually, there's a comment about bringing back Hugo.
I know, mate. That's what I say.
How many points do you think we'll need for Champions League? If we don't make it, what about the Europa League? Gatesy,
I think
Champions
we're
League, how many
getting-
points?
I think we're getting 70 points. I've already told you this. And if we get 70 points, we're qualifying for the Champions League. No ifs, no buts.
I think 70 points in the previous years only gets us 6th or 7th place. So I think your 70
It'd have
points
got-
would
it
probably
would've-
get us Europa.
It would have got us. It would have got us it comfortably last
Right.
season, Duke.
Okay, James?
I think we spoke, me and Andy spoke, and West Ham Online spoke when we played Arsenal and we had 10 games to go. We sort of done the maths on it, and we said 23 points, and we're now down to 19 to go, like on average, like out of the 24 available. If we get 19 more points, we get Champions League, and I believe that massively.
So what's that put us on? What are we on now? 19, give us what? That'd give us 70 plus, wouldn't it? 72,
Yeah,
73?
I
Andy, you?
believe.
Oh, go on.
68 points and above, but I think we'll get 72, 73 points.
Fair enough. Adam?
I don't know. I'm trying so hard to not get carried away, but I think it's
not
less.
easy though, mate, is it?
I know
Go
it
on,
isn't.
Adam. Go on, Adam.
I mean, I think it's less about the points and more about the results against Leicester, Chelsea, and Everton. If we can dispatch those 6-pointer games, and I think against Chelsea, I think we have got a phenomenal chance. You know, we play them in 2.5 weeks. They play 5 teams before they play us.
Yep.
Including 2 against Porto in the Champions League quarterfinals and a semi-final against Manchester City. So they've got a lot of games. A lot of the teams up there that are playing in the Champions League still have a lot of games. But we crumble way too often. We're all West Ham fans. We've all been West Ham fans for a long time. And how often do we look up the table and tell ourselves, if we do this, we'll get this, and it just doesn't happen. So I do think we'll get Champions League. I reckon we'll probably get 68 points, I hope, but it could just as easily go horribly wrong, you know.
Fair enough. Who?
How many points at the moment again?
I think we're on 50.
We're on 52, and there's a possible 24 points left up for grabs.
So the maximum we can get 76, right?
Yeah.
8 games left. We'll win. I think we'll win for 13 points. That would be league. Yeah, I don't think we're getting Champions League. Yeah, I think.
I had us down to get 70. I had us down to get 72 points. I had us down to draw with Spurs in one of my games in my prediction. I had us down to get 72. So we've actually picked up an extra 2 points. So if we actually stick to what my predictions were, I think I had us down to draw against Leicester and Chelsea. So I think we might be down for about 72, 74 points maybe in mine. So I'm kind of hoping, maybe Champions League football. James, just before we move on to the next question, Neil from Down Under said that Fredericks has scored more goals than Ben Rama. I think
Yes,
he's doing a bit
Neil.
of that as well, mate, you know.
Yeah.
But Carol did say that Neil's going to have his gloves ready.
So has Dawson, but I don't mean I want to get rid of Dawson, does it? Do you know what I mean? So shut up, Neil. Like, behave yourself, mate. Dawson scored more goals than all, mate, than Frederick. So let's be real.
I think Dawson's got more. I think Dawson's got more open play goals than Bruno Fernandes. Am I right?
Dawson's got more goals than Fredericks. Bonner's got more goals than Fredericks. You know what I mean?
Do his own goals count as a negative, or are they counting as a plus?
Who assisted Fredericks' goal?
Ben Rama,
Sorry?
mate. Exactly.
Exactly.
I
like it.
Who assisted Ben Rama's goal? Frederick's goal. It was Ben Rama, mate. Do you know what I mean? That's a trivia question there. That's any goal Fredericks has scored.
I've got a good one for you now before I go back and have to touch on another bloody repeat question. Gatesy, if the dream happens, what 3 teams do you want to see us within our Champions League group?
Ooh, that's a good question.
I'd like us to see us in there with 2 teams that we could reasonably beat, and for a little bit of glamour, I'd love to see us in there with Real Madrid.
Would we be the bottom seed in that? We would be the bottom seed, wouldn't we?
Yeah, more than likely, yeah.
As a newcomer, yeah.
James, your 3?
I would like us to play against Barcelona would be one. Dortmund would be the other one. And someone like, I think, someone in France maybe, or someone like that. Do you know what I mean? Like French team, maybe Lille or Monaco or someone who.
Somebody like Marseille. When they're from France, a French team.
Yeah. That's why they're French.
That's why they're French. Exactly. That farmers market league that they play in. Andy.
My 3 would be Bayern Munich, Rangers, and AC Milan.
Ooh, nice. Very nice.
I'm thinking of the away days.
Yeah. Well, I tell you, Kieran's just said that Slavia Prague would be a great trip. That'd be very, very messy, I feel.
Mate,
very messy.
It's official. Prague is my second home now. That's where I'm going.
Oh, he's gone. You know what? I didn't want to ask you anyway. I would like in ours. I would like one of the Scottish boys. So I think I'd leave it. Wait.
Guess who's back? Back again.
I would like
Leanne's back.
To Scotland. I would like either Rangers or Celtic. I think I would.
Yeah.
I think I'd then like someone from Luxembourg and like someone from Ireland would be amazing. Just so we top the group and we're out. I'd be quite happy with that. You can keep all your big names until we have to play them in the knockouts. But on a more serious note with that, I'd love. I mean, I was fortunate enough to see Messi and Argentina play at Upton Park against Croatia. So the question of can Messi perform on a rainy, horrible, wet East London night? The answer was no, not really. He scored a penalty. But would I like to see West Ham take on Barcelona or Real Madrid, PSG, Munich, Dortmund? AC Milan, Inter Milan. Who wouldn't? I think that'd be the dream, wouldn't it? I think in the grand scheme of things. Leanne, I suggest you probably go away and learn how to spell Masuaku. That'd be amazing because
Menaku.
I'm not sure who Manually is or Manuaku
Menaku.
is, but we're not gonna give you any time of day, and we're gonna come over to Cattle. Cat, is that true? Is that really true? No, we're not going to give him the time of day, James. You're better than that. There will be none of our Irish teams in it, unfortunately. Oh, that's a shame.
Oh, I wanted to answer Miss Jones. Oh, Miss Jones.
No.
Oh, Miss Jones.
Mrs. Jones.
James and Mrs. Jones.
Oh, he's breaking into song and everything.
Listen, I take that back.
Going
I
on.
might have just used the wrong pronoun. I'm sorry. We don't know if it's a miss. Anyway, we'll leave it there. I'm not doing that. Scott says Lazio, Rangers, and Dortmund. That ain't a bad shout.
I don't even
Lazio,
care.
An away trip to Italy would be good, wouldn't it?
I just think, the beauty of us getting to play in the Champions League, that's all I want. I'd like us to play one team or a top team because I'd like to think that as fans, we're not so delusional to go to that game expecting a result. We're going to get to go to that game expecting a fun trip and getting to watch West Ham go out and play against a big team. I don't give a shit if we lose 4-0, to be honest. I mean, I live in Texas, but I'll be on a plane and I will go to that glamour tie. I mean, nothing will stop me from getting a ticket apart from maybe COVID.
There is that,
I was just waiting for that one.
I mean, I've been living in America. My second vaccination's in a couple of weeks, so I'll be vaccinated. But I do think that, I just, as a West Ham fan, I've loved the club my whole life. I'm 36 years old. I didn't go to Palermo, and I regret that. I've always regretted it because I thought, we'll make it to a group stage. And we've never in my lifetime made it to a group stage in European competition. And so I just want to go away and see. As a personal team that I would like, for a stupid reason, which I probably shouldn't even say, but I'd like us to get Roma because a lad I know just got signed for Roma, and so I imagine he'd be able to sort me out a ticket. So for a selfish reasons, I'd pick Roma.
Well, Paul says he'd like a bunch of small clubs, including Spurs and Arsenal. So,
But how proud? I know seriousness here. I know whether they're laughing and all that, but how proud would you be of West Ham to get to the Champions League? Right, because I would be over. I'd be in tears, mate. And that's
honestly, it'd be one of the greatest feelings as a West Ham fan. Now, as I mentioned to Gatesy and Andy, and I think it was on Saturday when we did the video, the scarf behind me, this one here, is actually what my old man bought me when I was 18 months old, and it is actually the FA Cup final scarf from 1980. My old man got it for me, and that's been with me since that day. I was 18 months old, and other than the Liverpool game that I remember, if you want, I can't think of anything more as a West Ham fan that I'd want us to see us do. Don't get me wrong, I'd love to see us win the Premier League. I'd love to see us win a bit of silverware in my time. But to finish fourth this season, considering where we were last season and considering the squad that we've done it on this year, I'd be absolutely honestly, I think I'd burst into tears if we could. That final game of the season when that whistle blows and we officially qualify for Champions League, I'd be in tears, mate. Honestly, I'd be so proud. I'd be absolutely buzzing. It'd be amazing. Like, honestly, I don't think I'd be able to put it into words how I'd feel on that day. Andy?
We forgot Amsterdam.
Ooh.
You terrible, terrible man. What do you reckon, mate? How would you feel if we get there?
Can you just imagine that long, painful walk from Stratford, but the fact that you'll be seeing European stars like playing at the London Stadium? No, it it'll be amazing. And like you said, it will take each game as it comes, and the closer we get, the more realistic it will be. And what great would it be if I think Gatesy paid his season ticket in full, potentially 10,000 fans being there. I'd be over the moon if I got selected to go and watch that. Imagine that, being there at that game.
Gatesy, I've lost my mind then. I wonder what was going on.
How would I feel if we qualified for the Champions League? I'd be stunned, proud, elated, confused. There'd be so many emotions. I don't know which one would be my overriding one, because it would just be just lots of different things going on. Because let's have it right, we've never qualified for this competition either as the Champions League or as the European Cup. So, you know, it would just be ridiculous that we went from being a team that was 2 games away from relegation one season, and then the next season being qualifying for the Champions League. I don't think I could put that into words. I really don't.
Yeah, mate, it'd just be mad. Have I just seen if anyone's got it up? City have just scored in the 90th minute. Am I right? Have I just seen that? Foden has got a 90th minute winner for.
He has. Get in.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, 2-1. Yeah. But Dortmund have an away goal.
Yeah, and then Liverpool are being absolutely played off the park apparently. So
what's the Liverpool
interesting
score?
I believe it's 2-0 to Madrid.
I thought it was 3-1.
3-1.
Oh, 3-1 even then. Yeah, 3-1. It's still. Yeah, it still ain't good, is it? Let's be honest. But I'm pleased for Foden. I like Phil Foden. Who we were just talking about? Who would be your three clubs that you want to face in our group for Champions League?
Yeah. Quickly, I'd like to say this guy in the comments, Hammer Happy. Please get a life. I can't.
What did he say to you?
Anyway,
what did he say to you? Because he blocked you. He blocked it. What did he say?
Oh, he
put
said
him in a
get
timeout.
Delete your page, you sad prick.
Anyway,
I'd want. I'd want Real Madrid because I want to go to the Bernabeu again. I'd want. I don't at the same time.
Fuck are you giving it all again? Behave yourself, will you?
No, I want really good teams, so I can go to new stadiums. But at the same time, I want to get through the group. So what I'll do is I'll go Real Madrid. God, who's crap but has a nice stadium?
Amsterdam.
Yeah, no, we'll go Real Madrid. We'll go We'll go PSV. We'll go
Bruges.
Be
nice.
Slavia Prague.
Belgium.
Lisbon.
Belgium.
And finally,
Lisbon,
we'll go for a little bit of an easy one, Bayern Munich.
How many teams do you want in our group?
They did say they were extending it, in fairness.
Yeah, 5 a group, Adam.
We shall see each other tomorrow, Mike. Yes.
Take care, mate.
Right, gentlemen. I think we've just hit just under 2 hours. So I'm sitting here flagging. I'm not going to lie. Trying to
say something before we
pick
go.
people apart. Go on, darling. All yours.
Congratulations on 200 subscribers. Well, 208 subscribers.
Yeah.
Aww,
Can we quickly do a minute's applause?
Thanks. Thank you, guys. Cheers.
Minutes applause. Will you behave yourself?
No, don't worry about it.
200 seconds. That's what I want. No.
We'll be retiring shirt numbers now.
200 plus subscribers, and about 4 of them are a bunch of pricks. So yeah, that's what I'm going to say.
We don't know whether they're subscribers, them ones. They probably aren't. Let's be fair. Are you still going, Boo? Are you bloody stop?
Have you ever seen that film? Have you ever seen that film?
Great film.
In Bruges.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Colin Farrell.
Yeah.
Great
Great
film.
Fines. Great film.
Yeah.
James, you've
That's why I
frozen.
wanna- I'm here, mate. I'm here. Do you know what I mean? Don't worry
He's
about
had
me,
enough.
Andy.
Old James. He's
Mate,
sitting there.
mate,
He's done with the
mate,
morons tonight, mate, isn't you?
mate, I'm chilling, mate. I'm chilling. I'm loving life.
Me and
I'm
James
chilling
have
back.
been abused by the chat all evening.
Mate, I love it. They can abuse me, mate, but I put obesity in front of my first name, mate. So like, they can't ever abuse me ever in their lifetime. You know what I mean? So I'm called Fat Boy Fever, mate. I'm not called like anything else. Do you know what I mean? So they can say what they like. But you know what? I will say one thing. The Leicester game is the one for me. Before we wrap it up, the Leicester game is one. I think if we beat Leicester, then we are serious top 4 contenders with 7 games to go. We've got Chelsea and Everton in there, and then we've got Newcastle, Brighton, Burnley, Southampton, West Brom. And to me, that's a good running.
There's only 3 games in there, James, really. It's off again. There's only 3 games in there, isn't there, really, that you'd consider to be difficult games in the Chelsea, Leicester, and the Everton games. They're the 3, aren't they? Really, that you consider to be on paper the harder games.
This new West Ham that's happening now, like I said it the other day, I said the Wolves game is a game where we don't win up there, and we went up there and won last night, right? What's that fucking prick doing? We got Brighton away, Burnley away, Newcastle away. Them games we never did get anything up there at these places. So it's a big. The Leicester game, if we win that, we draw them and we're a point behind them, and this game on then. So,
and that's it, isn't it? That really is it.
Yeah.
And there's no such thing. There's no such thing as an easy game in the Premier League. So every single one of these games is going to be crucial. And I hope. Well, I want to say this, but it always comes back to screw you over. You hope that by the time we play West Brom, they're mathematically relegated and have got nothing to play for. But how many times do you see those teams ruin the teams at the top? I mean, it happens far too often.
Normally, it's us doing the ruining.
Well, yeah, because we've never been this high up.
It's normally us that's doing the pain in the arse club, isn't it?
Right. We've got Leicester, Newcastle, and Chelsea next. Right, that's our next 3. How many points would you like to see from that? Like, 9. I think if we beat Leicester, I think obviously we won 9. Now? I think we need to beat Leicester. I think we need to beat Leicester, beat Newcastle. I'll get a draw against Chelsea and then win the rest of them. That's the one that I'm aiming for. I don't know about you. So 7 from 9.
I'll be happy with 5. I would be. I'd be happy with 5 because that's where I put it initially. Rob. I put it as a draw against Leicester, a draw against Leicester, a draw against Chelsea, and we beat Newcastle. So that's where I was. 3 or 4 weeks ago, 5 weeks ago, when I did the predictor kind of thing. So that's where I'm at. If we get more, great. We've already got 2 more than I anticipated because I understand to draw against Spurs. So we're already 2 points up on where I expected us to be anyway. So I mean, for me, it'd be 5 to be honest.
6 for me.
Yeah, I agree with Andy on that. 6 or 7. I think we've. I know it sounds mad, but if we win a game and draw 2, we get 5. But if we win both and lose 1, we get 6. So we get like that. It's big. Big Sam always has something to play.
Good point. See, I just like you say, I hope they're down at the end of the season because I don't really want him having the option of that.
Breaking news coming in. Get to the bottom comment. Scott's got breaking news for us.
Yes, saw that.
Sinenchu has tested positive for COVID.
That's a shame.
Why is it a shame, West Ham? I thought it was good news.
Well, I just think that I'd rather him play than Fofana at the moment. So, yeah.
Listen, it's one less player to worry about, boys, isn't it?
Anyway,
Well,
AC,
it's been a good
do your
night.
thing.
It's been a good night.
Okay. Right. Well,
I've
for
enjoyed
those
the
13
comments.
of you that are still there, this is my usual shout out for Isla Caton. She's a 6-year-old girl and she has neuroblastoma. This is a cancer that is really aggressive, has a tendency to afflict children in the main. There's no treatment for this on the NHS, so her family can't just rock up at their local A&E, get the treatment, and off she goes and carries on her life. She's got to go abroad and get the treatment that she needs to save her life. Now, wherever this treatment is, that's where they've got to go. They've got to pay for flights. They've got to pay for the treatment. They've got to pay for all their living costs. And the bills are still coming in the UK. So they've got bills piling up that need to be paid. The stress, the aggravation, the expenditure. If you think you've had a hard last 12 months of it, and we all have, I'm not underplaying that for one moment, but this family are going through it and more than you can possibly imagine. So we at Falls from Irons would implore any of you guys that have got a few quid that you can put into the tin there to do so. There is a PayPal page. There is a Just Giving page. And we ask you to give generously. No donation is too small, but the more the merrier. If you can't help, then all I would ask you to do would be to take this message and share it amongst your friends, your family, your work colleagues, anybody that you've got on your contact list, because it is no exaggeration to say that every day that goes past, the odds are stacking up against this young girl. She's 6 years of age. This should not be happening as far as I'm concerned. So everybody that sees this, we all need to try and come together. We all need to try and do our bit to try and help this little girl to get to a point where she can be free of this cancer and live a life going forwards where she can be everything that she's meant to be. So thank you very much indeed for listening, guys. And I'd urge you to do what you can. Thank you.
Gentlemen, to the four of you, five including Steve that joined us earlier. Thank you so much for coming on. I do apologise, James and who for the idiots that decided to come out in force this evening. Obviously, we do these shows and you're always going to get it, aren't you?
They can take it. They can take it.
Oh, mate,
Yeah.
mate, I love it. I'll be back here same time next week. So tune in, 8 o'clock. Be there or be somewhere else.
Dude, trust me. Look,
Yes, mate.
Look at any Instagram post I've ever made criticising any player, and you'll get at least 150 Everton fans coming out of their shells. So,
I've put several up in the past, and there was a Wolves fan out there today that said the West Ham fans always celebrate every win like this. To which someone replied, "We're fourth in the league, mate. We're going for Champions League football. If you don't want to see it, fuck off." Basically, was his answer. And someone said, "I don't want to see it," and he went, "It sounds like a you problem."
Caffrey's got the right idea. Caffrey's got the right idea. Look at the comment, the last comment.
The last one. You're relishing it. You love life, don't you? Gentlemen, thank you so much. Time of our life tomorrow. Yes.
Show me last comment quick. I didn't see that.
I'm looking forward to tomorrow's one, Andy. There's some good games in that I've picked up over the last 209. Go on. Some good games. So yeah, we're doing recording a Time of Our Life. That comes out tomorrow. What season is it? 87, 88?
Yeah, that's the one.
Yes. That's out tomorrow, 5 o'clock, ready for your dinner time viewing. Andy, thank you for coming on. Yeah, Andy, stop logging into all your other accounts. All right, James,
no more.
Eric, listen, you're going to be knackered when they start making you upload ID for all these accounts. You realise that, don't you? You're going to be absolutely screwed. Adam, thank you for coming on. Thank you for your first show with us, buddy. As mad and as crazy as it was still enjoyable. If you ever want to come back on again, mate, just give us a shout, and I look forward to seeing you again soon. James, thank you so much.
I'm here all week, literally.
That's what they're saying, mate. They're moaning about it.
Yeah. Yeah, they will be back to tune in next week. So
Of
be
course
there.
they will.
8 o'clock. You know what I mean? So yeah.
Andy, a few more accounts next week, mate.
No problem.
Casey, I will see you on the other side of this message. Guys, we've got one last thing to say. Roll on to the Leicester game and come on, you Irons.